Carlos Ramirez, owner of NVS Audio in Roselle, New Jersey and Daytona, Florida. Today, I'm here to talk about the pros and cons of the A to B interface for the new 2024 and 2025 Harley Davidson motorcycles. I get this question asked a lot. We've done the most 2024s out of anybody. We've done over 100 of them. We have one here behind us, beautiful CVO. We have another one there. And we have another one there. All three bikes are done, ready to go. We just delivered one yesterday, so that's 4 just this week alone. And we're currently doing them without the A to B interface. Currently, the only company that has an A to B interface available is Volunteer Audio. Jay and his crew of Volunteer Audio do a great job. They put together a great package. They were first to market with it. It's 100% plug and play. They make 3D printed amp racks. But the only issue is they will only sell it with their Hertz amplifier package. So you have to get the Hertz amp and the Hertz speakers, which there's nothing wrong with. We are a huge authorized Hertz dealer and the product sounds great. But for those who want more flexibility, maybe they want to use a different amplifier, maybe they want to use different speakers, there's no solution for those people right now with the A to B interface. We do all these bikes. We offer a plug and play harness for these bikes, keeping the factory amplifier in play. So let's go over the benefits, the pros and cons of the A to B interface. So we'll start with the pros. A to B interface for audio. It's going to be 100% plug and play. It's going to come with the Hertz amplifier. It's going to come with the Hertz speakers. But Jay pre-tunes them, and you have no access to the tune. However Jay sets it, that's how you're getting it. Great kit, great warranty, great customer service. But if you want to be able to adjust it yourself, you can't do it. The kit comes pre-tuned, so it's nice and easy. Can't make any mistakes. You put it in, it works. It's a great setup. Most of the people I talk to with the kit are happy with it, and it's just enough for them. There is no cutting required. It's a single amplifier solution. Sometimes when you do these, and depending on what equipment you're using, you will get a loud hiss. If you're not using, let's say, a PSM Pro like we use, which has built-in noise gate, which will automatically eliminate the hiss once the music stops playing. I've heard some bikes done from other shops using other DSPs, and the hiss is pretty horrible. And then they have to reduce the gain on the amplifier to minimize the hiss, but it also minimizes the volume. The cons of using A to B solution. It's going to cost you between $900 and $1,400 depending on which one you use. Sounds is almost done with theirs. Theirs is going to be released soon. The Volunteer Audio one will be unlocked soon. I was talking to Jay, and he said he will make it available to people that he makes authorized distributors for the product, and you'll be able to program it how you want for your shop. So the Volunteer Audio solution will be available to the public soon. The sound solution, first round, is going to go to obviously people who did the pre-orders, and then probably around March or April, it'll be available to everybody else. That's a solution from Sounds. I hear a rumor that there's a solution for Mobridge on the horizon. I know for a fact that Cicada has their solution that they're going to be showing at Knowledge Fest. So there's going to be at least 4 companies guaranteed in the next 3 months that have a solution available. But they're all going to be about the same price, between $900 and $1,400. That's hard to swallow for some Harley owners because most of these clients want to spend $1,500 on all the equipment for the bike and do the install themselves. $1,400 for just an interface, $900 for just an interface. There's going to be a lot of people not going with that solution only because it's not in their budget. Another con about the A to B interface is people think that you're just going to pull the amp out and gain all that space. The A to B interface plugs into the factory harness, and the module is much smaller than the factory amp, but it's still at least 4 by 4 inches. So it's not like you can put another amplifier in place of the factory amplifier, because you still need that space for the A to B module. So unless you're using a really, really small amp, you're not going to be able to get an amplifier in that space that you just freed up. So the factory amp's about 8 inches long. A to B module is going to cut that in half. So that leaves you about 4 by 4 inches to install another amplifier, and there's not another motorcycle amplifier I know that's small. So for most people using the A to B interface, if you don't want to cut the headlight, you don't want to cut the radio bracket, it's going to be a 4-channel amplifier solution. So if you're doing 2 or 4 speakers, that's fine. If you want to go bigger, 8s in the bags, 10s in the bags, with the A to B interface, you're still going to have to cut, just like we've been doing to modify the rack to do, let's say, a 1400 or a 1200. Uh, if you run the A to B module and you're doing a big audio setup like a competition bike, 8 speaker bike, 10 speaker bike, you're still going to need a DSP, because from what I understand, the A to B module is currently only 6 channel output. So you can do fairing, lowers, lids, or fairing, lids, and woofers in the bags. But if you want to do anything past that, you're going to have to, you can install the A to B module, use the RCA outputs from the A to B module to go into, let's say, a 12 channel DSP, and then do the rest of your setup. There's currently 3 ways to do these bikes. So there's shops out there using line level converters, which is fine. It's the reason you need a line converter is if you're not using the A to B interface, the factory amplifier puts out a good amount of AC voltage. So a lot of these amplifiers cannot just take that voltage to the RCA. So if you use a line converter, it'll take the voltage, cut it in half, and then give you a lower voltage that you can use into the amplifier without overdriving the inputs. The problem with using line converters, and the reason we won't use line converters, is that the factory EQ, the factory audio signal, is really terrible in this bike. The bass is boosted 12, 16 dB at certain frequencies, and a line converter will do nothing to fix that. So you have to be careful running that signal into your aftermarket amplifiers, having that signal amplified and then go into your aftermarket speakers, because with that giant bass boost in the lower bass frequencies, you might wipe out your brand new speakers. So there's no signal correction involved when you install a line converter. It literally just steps down the voltage. The way we do it is factory amplifier into a DSP that can take high signal level. Then the Arc Audio PSM Pro, for example, has a input EQ. So we use the input EQ to fix the factory signal coming into the DSP, and then we use the output EQ to EQ our new speakers and our new amplifiers we're going to be installing. Third way to do it is the A to B interface. It's obviously the easiest. It simply plugs in, takes care of the factory signal, gives you perfect signal in, then it has RCA outputs that you plug into your amplifier. Simple, done, installed, no headaches. But it's the most expensive way, and it limits your ability to be able to tune the setup the way that you want. A to B is nothing new. We do cars and bikes here at the shop, so the A to B interfaces from different companies have been available for years. It's just new for Harleys because it's a different data protocol. So it's no different than the Zen module from Nav TV, or the Amp Pro from Pack Audio. It takes the signal as soon as the signal leaves the factory radio before it goes into the factory amplifier. The signal has not been processed. It's pure digital signal, so there's nothing done to it yet. Then before it goes to the amplifier, it reroutes it, and it gives you front, rear, and sub, 20 hertz to 20,000 hertz, unprocessed. You do what you want with the signal. In the cars, it makes it simpler because you have to deal with door chimes, front sensors, backup sensors, navigation voice prompts. So in the module, it gives you the ability to sum these and route them to wherever you want. If you do these cars with a line converter, and let's say you catch the factory signal and you're doing a 500 watt amplifier, you just took the factory signal for the door chimes and amplified it 500 watts. So then the door chimes are really, really loud. The Bluetooth phone voice is really, really loud. So these modules make it easy. You plug it in. It allows you to choose the volume of your chimes and your voice prompts. So it's no different to what they do on the motorcycles. But just like we've been waiting for a solution for a year now on the motorcycles, it's the same thing in the car world. For example, we have a Lincoln Aviator 2024 that we're delivering this week. There is no module for it. The vehicle's been out for a while. It's been out for a few years, and these companies will not make a solution if they're not going to be able to. There's no sense in investing $200,000 if you're only going to sell $50,000 worth. So the Lincoln Aviator is not a popular vehicle to do audio upgrades to, so none of the companies have made a module for it. So the only way to do these is using a DSP like the Audison Forza, Audison Bit. Then you take the signal from the factory, and then you can sum the signal. You can use the signal as it is, just change the crossover points, and then go back out to the aftermarket amplifiers. We've been doing it this way for years. So the Lincoln Aviator, we're using an Audison Forza amplifier. We're using the M12.14 bit. I just got a new Ram 1500, so I traded in my 2022 Ram, which they made the Amp Pro for, so it was easy. Now I have a 2025, and it uses different CAN bus protocols, so I can't get my remote start to work yet. I can't even my running board side steps that open and close when you open the door. I was in the truck working on it yesterday. There's nowhere to plug it in. Called tech support. They said even if there was somewhere to plug it in, it would be a different protocol, and they haven't written the software for it yet. So my running boards don't work yet. I can't do my remote start yet. Luckily, the truck came with factory remote start, but I can't add my drone yet because they haven't figured out the CAN protocol. And if I want to do my audio, there is no interface available yet because it's new CAN protocol, so I'm going to have to do it the way we've been doing it, the way we did on the Aviator, and then I'll use Audison Forza amplifier, signal into the amplifier, correct the factory signal, and then go into my aftermarket amplifiers. So I own a 2023 and a half CVO, and I bought the bike last July. July 2023. So I've had the bike a year and a half already, and it had audio in it since last July. I've changed the audio up a few times. There is no A to B interface in my bike. I chose to go a different route. So what I'm doing is I'm actually running a Hertz Audison DSP with optical input. So we make a plug and play harness if you want to do the install without an A to B interface, and it takes signal from the factory amplifier and it goes into the DSP, then from the DSP. So on my bike, I'm running RT harness into the Hertz DSP speaker level, but I'm also running an Audison Beacon. It's a high resolution Bluetooth streamer. So I have a switch where I can toggle between the factory radio or the Beacon. I can stream to the Beacon directly from my phone and completely bypass the factory radio of the Harley. So I'm getting crystal clear, perfect signal, high resolution into the DSP. I control the volume from my phone. And then if I want to use my thumb controls, again, I'll just toggle back to the radio. The sound quality is not as good, but I still get really good signal. The bike plays really loud. I have 10s in my bag, sealed and ported. I have a 3,000 watt amp on the 10s, and I have a 2,000 watt amp running my 4 mids, and the bike sounds phenomenal. So when I want perfect sound, I switch over to the Beacon, streaming optical, and when I want really good sound riding around, I want my thumb controls back, and I play through the radio, I just switch back to the radio. So there are solutions. People are asking the pros and cons. You just have to pick what works the best for you. If A to B solution is the way that you want to do it, we will be supporting A to B in the shop. We're working with Volunteer Audio, Sounds, Mobridge, Cicada. So hopefully we'll be stocking all the solutions from these companies. And if you want to go the A to B route, it's the simplest way to go, but it's also the most expensive. And you could do a 4-channel amp in the fairing, no cutting, no splicing. If you chose to go with a bigger solution, we can use our DSP aftermarket amplifier, 2 amps in the fairing, 8-inch mid-bass drivers, 10-inch mid-bass drivers in the saddlebags, or there's plenty of options for these new bikes. As they come out, people are getting more and more comfortable with them. These companies are scrambling to come up with solutions. So Knowledge Fest is actually in a couple of weeks, and I know Cicada will be showing their solution to Knowledge Fest. I think there's a couple of companies that have some stuff up their sleeves, which is going to work out great for us in the motorcycle community. I know Volunteer Audio is going to be opening up some authorized dealers and unlocking their DSP to give trained shops ability to be able to tune them the way the customers like, and then you'll be able to use their DSP with any other amplifiers and speakers that you choose. And it's 2025 is going to be great. They just released the new Harleys, so it's a bunch of new colors. The platform's been out for a year and a half now, so people are going to feel more comfortable buying them. They've worked out a lot of the bugs that these bikes had at the beginning when they were released. I'm hearing less and less problems with the factory Rockford amplifier shutting off and then people having to pull the fuse. So these bikes are becoming more popular. There's more of them out there. These shops have to learn how to use them, and there's a lot of solutions. So between whether you choose a line converter, whether you choose to do a DSP, or whether you choose to use A to B interface, you have to pick a solution that fits your budget. But I strongly recommend going to a shop that's done these bikes before. Don't let them cut and splice your factory harnesses, because then the dealer's going to give you issues with your warranty. All the solutions out there that I recommend, whether it's a line converter solution or a to B solution or a plug and play into an aftermarket DSP, there is no cutting or splicing involved. There's plenty of places on the bike where you can catch accessory power without cutting or splicing. You just got to make a plug, and there's parts available. Reach out to me, I'll help you out. There's no reason to cut any of the wires on these bikes. There's harness available from these bikes, not just from us. They're available from Volunteer Audio. They're available from Cicada. They're available from a bunch of different companies. So there's no reason to have to cut up these bikes. You don't want an issue with the dealer with the warranty. You can create your own plug and play setups without disrespecting the bike or chopping the bike up. So I hope this helps. If you have any questions, just reach out to me.